Okay, in problem number 8, we did this in class. This is kind of a graphical approach to the same type of problem here. And in this problem, we have some function composition. We have u of x is equal to f of g of x, and v of x is equal to g of f of x, and w of x is equal to g of x. And you can compose one function within itself. That's fine. And we want to find each of the following derivatives if it exists. If it doesn't exist, we should explain why. Remember that the derivative of a function at a point is the slope of the tangent to the curve there. So u prime of 1 should be, if u is equal to f of g of x, then u prime of 1 should be f prime of g of 1 times g prime of 1. Now we have to start from the inside g of 1. So to find g of 1, we go to the graph. G is the silver or the gray one, and g of 1 is 3. So we need to find f prime of g of 1, which is the same as f prime of 3. And f prime of 3 just means what is the slope of the curve at x equals 3 on the f curve. So if we go over here to the f curve, when x is equal to 3, we can see we do have a constant slope throughout that whole segment from 2 to 6. And it goes down 1 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be a slope of negative 4. So f prime of 3 is negative 4. Sorry, is negative 1/4. And g prime of 1 is asking what is the slope of the g curve when x is equal to 1. Well, from looking at that, we should be able to see that it goes down 3 and over 1, so it has a slope of negative 3. And so altogether we get a slope of 3/4. Negative 1/4 times negative 3 is a positive 3/4 for that function composition. Now we're going to do the same thing with v prime of 1. Well, v prime is g of f of x. And so v prime of 1 is g prime of f of 1 times f prime of 1. So the first thing we need to do is find what f of 1 is. We look on the f curve at 1, and f of 1 is equal to 2. So we need to find out what g prime of 2 is. And so g prime of 2 is what is the slope of the curve of the g curve at x is equal to 2. And you should be able to see when x is equal to 2 on the g curve, there is no way, the function has a value there. The value of g of 2 is 0, but g prime of 2 doesn't exist because there's a sharp turn there. So v prime of 1 is not going to exist because in order to calculate it, we need g prime of 2, and g prime of 2 does not exist. So we can't go any further with that problem. The third one, w prime of 1. Well, w is g of x. And for that, again, we need g prime of g of 1 times g prime of 1. We need to start from g of 1, and g of 1 is equal to 3. So in essence, w prime of 1 is g prime of 3 times g prime of 1. So we need to go to the g curve when x is equal to 3, and we need to find the slope of that curve. And it's constant throughout. It goes up 2 and over 3, so that should be g prime of 3 should be 2/3. And g prime of 1 is the slope of the g curve when x is equal to 1. And we've already seen that that's equal to negative 3. And so we get negative 2 on that particular derivative there. Alright, so these are a little complicated, but it's, on the other hand, they're also very simple. You just have to know that when you need the value of the function, you just go to the curve at that particular x value. When you need to know the derivative of a curve at a particular point, you have to find the slope of the curve on that section. And if it's a straight line, it'll be constant over the whole section. Alright, so that will be, we'll finish up number 8 on this video and start on the next if there are any more.